We're talking dry skin. We're talking skincare in general, skin health, in honor of my Truth Treatment products. Some of you already purchased the Truth Treatment products. I'd like to hear from you. If you want to give us a shout, 844-236-6010, what you think about them, if you notice any of the results. Some of you now have used the Truth Treatment products for 8 weeks or so. We started selling them, about 6 weeks ago, we started selling them. 844-236-6010 if you have any comments or questions about the Truth Treatment products. We're talking skin, and we'll be talking skin here for a few more weeks. If you have dry skin, as we said yesterday, and dry skin is very, very common, there's two elements that need to be addressed, and neither of these two elements involve a moisturizing cream. A moisturizing cream, a moisturizing lotion, a moisturizing product doesn't do anything except create the illusion of hydration, the illusion of moisture. You put your moisturizing product on your skin, you rub your finger along the grease and the wax and the preservative and the solvents and the propylene glycol and the glycerin that you just put on your skin. You rub your finger along there and you go, oh, I'm moisturized. No, you're not moisturized. You're slickerized. You got a little slick oil on your skin, and for some reason or another, we got this belief that that slick sensation is moisture. Nothing says hypnotic trance, hypnotic marketing trance more clearly than rubbing a cream, a lotion, a wax and oil complex on your hands or in your face or in your body, and then feeling the product as it's sitting there on your skin and believing that we've actually created some kind of change in the skin. That's hypnosis. That's a trance. It doesn't even make sense. The unpleasant condition called dry skin, or technically xerosis, X-E-R-O-S-I-S, is a combination. It's caused by a combination of two factors. Number one, a defect in the production of natural moisture factors. The skin makes its own natural moisture factors. These natural moisture factors are called the natural moisture factor. That's what the scientific term is. It's made up of amino acids like arginine, for example. It's made up of complex sugar molecules, something called hyaluronic acid. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. By the way, you can't put hyaluronic acid on top of your skin and expect to get moisturized. There's all these products out now, and I have people asking me who know a little bit about skincare about hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is inside, underneath the barrier. That's where it traps water, not a little bit on the surface, but you're not going to really moisturize your skin by putting hyaluronic acid on top of your skin, but it is part of how the skin naturally hydrates itself. And then there's the fats, the lipids, the oils, sebum secretions, many of which come from cholesterol. And these are also natural ways that the skin moisturizes itself. Is this a surprise to anybody? The skin is supposed to stay moist. It has moisturization properties. To rub a cream on the skin, that's not going to do anything. The moisturization properties are underneath. The second mechanism involves the barrier. This is what we've been talking about, the skin barrier. The skin barrier has to be intact. Now, skin barrier breaks down, or the skin barrier defects take place in degrees. The most extreme case of a skin barrier defect is eczema. Eczema is when you have patches of skin with no barrier on it. It's a really unpleasant condition and can cause some serious problems with skin dryness and skin irritation. But there's milder forms of eczema. It may not even be called eczema. It's just poor barrier development. The barrier doesn't develop as well as it might. This especially happens as aging kicks in and as nutritional deficiencies kick in. When we left the ocean, animals lived in the ocean. Human beings and our ancestors came out of the ocean hundreds of millions of years ago. But when we came out of the ocean, we had to develop a barrier on the top of our bodies, on the surface of our bodies, to keep the water in. The body is 60 to 70% water, so it had to develop a barrier. This barrier is made up of hard cells and water-resistant extrusions, chemical extrusions, and they keep the water inside. The barrier comes from keratin cells, keratinocytes. And how these cells move and how these cells grow and how these cells divide, how these cells extrude stuff, how these cells form the barrier is a very complicated process. It requires vitamins. It requires a healthy body. You can't have inflammation. You got to have proper nutrients and fats. All of these are required for this barrier to form correctly. Lots of things have to go right. Is it a surprise to anyone that these things don't always go right, that there's nutritional deficiencies, vitamin A deficiencies, vitamin E deficiencies, essential fatty acid deficiencies? God forbid if some doctor puts you on a statin drug, that's going to suppress cholesterol production. You're not going to be able to make the barrier or the moisture factors as effectively. The skin does lots and lots of things. You can't just be smearing stuff on the skin and expecting it to get healthy. The skin is a fully fledged organ of the body. It makes vitamins, it makes hormones, it's an immune organ. It secretes protective chemicals, it secretes inflammatory chemicals, it secretes antibacterial chemicals. It's got bacteria on it, probiotics, good bacteria on it. And it makes its own natural sunscreen, by the way. And it makes its own natural moisture factors. The skin is absolutely amazing. It looks like nothing's happening. You look at your arm, it looks like nothing's happening. But this is an incredibly dynamic system. Just as dynamic as the heart or the spleen or the lungs or the liver, just as organ-like as any other organ in the body. Because it's covered with this hard coating, it just looks inert. It is not inert. And it's important that we recognize this so that we treat it correctly. The skin regulates temperature. It's a shock absorber. It emits chemicals to communicate to our friends and our neighbors and our enemies that we're here, pheromones, chemicals that communicate love and safety and fertility, as well as territorial messages. But the main role of the skin, the number one role of the skin, is to act as a barrier, to protect the internal structures of the body, to prevent the entrance and interference of microbes, fungus, and bacteria, and ultraviolet radiation as well, and to prevent against mechanical injury, and then the most important role, which is to keep moisture in. Researchers can assess the moisturization properties of the skin by TEWL. We talked about that yesterday. Transepidermal water loss. And this is how they determine how effective a so-called moisturizer is. This is why wax and Vaseline and oils have become the mainstay of moisturizer formulations. They decrease water loss. They seal the surface. The problem is you don't want to be sealing stuff. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
30dayfoodsupply.com has a special offer just for GCN listeners. Mention GCN when you order, and we'll send you a free bag of Oregon Trail Foods' new vegan burger, a $9 value, with your order of our 30-day food supply, still only $99. In addition, with every 6-month supply purchased, mention GCN and receive a free Life Straw water filter. Our vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then passing the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184, and remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. This is a limited time offer, so order today. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness: the phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it, and that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
We're talking skin. Some of you may have seen Time magazine this week. Headline here, or a headline on the story: why skin cancer rates are up. Time magazine says skin cancer rates are up because we're not wearing enough sunscreen. Skin cancer rates are up for the same reason all cancer rates are up, is because we're not healthy. Skin cancer is a sign of a skin cell that's freaked out, like all cancer. It's not the sun that's causing it, even though the sun may be stimulating it a little bit. Cause of cancer is a stressed out cell. That means we're not eating correctly. That means we're not supplementing correctly. We're not nutritionally competent. We don't have enough vitamin C and vitamin E and essential fatty acids. We don't have enough oxygen. We're inflamed. These are all the reasons why we have cancer. And for Time magazine and your dermatologists and doctors to blame the sun and not enough sunscreen. Oh, by the way, sunscreens are toxic chemicals, no matter what anybody tells you. They are toxic chemicals. I'm not saying that poetically. I'm saying that literally. That's why they're regulated as drugs. And they become more toxic. Oh, this is really good. They become more toxic when they're activated by the sun. And they become less active. You've got to wear sunscreen. And by the way, there's a difference between sunscreens and sunblocks. If you've got to wear sunscreen, octyl methoxycinnamate or octacrylene or oxybenzone, wash it off as soon as you can and don't wear one unless you need it. Absolutely, positively need it. And use zinc oxide if you have to use a topical, if you want to use topical protection, use zinc oxide, and then use vitamin C afterwards, fatty vitamin C afterwards when you come in from the sun. You know, your skin is still burning even when you come in from the sun. You're still getting inflammatory effects on your skin even when the sun goes down. Even when you go into the house from the sun, your skin is still activated. There's still inflammation that's occurring. So after you come in from the sun, get your vitamin C, your fatty vitamin C, on the skin. You'll help protect your skin from the post-sun inflammation that occurs even when you're not laying out. If you have dry skin, it's not a moisturizer problem. I saw a commercial yesterday for a product called Eucerin. Now, Eucerin is the go-to in the world of pharmacy. It's one of the go-to skin moisturizers the pharmacists recommend. I don't like moisturizers, the concept of moisturizers. Concept of moisturizers doesn't make sense to me, especially considering the fact that the skin makes its own moisture factors. Now, it's true, by sealing things up with wax and oil, which is what a moisturizer is, you're going to keep water in a little bit, but the skin has to breathe, and the skin makes its own moisture factors, and when you wear a moisturizer, you suppress those. Moisturizers do have a sealing effect. They have ingredients, and you want to be an ingredient deck reader, by the way. Stearyl alcohol, cetyl palmitate. If you looked at these ingredients before they got put into your cream, they would look just like wax. You could make a candle out of them. Cetyl palmitate is a wax. Cetyl alcohol is a wax. Stearyl alcohol is a wax. Glycerol monostearate is a wax. Literally, a wax. If you squished it together, stuck a wick in there, you can have a candle. And then you throw in some mineral oil, which is the active ingredient in many of these moisturizers. All of this stuff is going to suppress biochemistry, suppress biology. In the days of Helena Rubinstein, who's given credit for starting the skincare business, the modern skincare business at the beginning of the 20th century, 1910, 1915, she came over from Russia and she decided she was going to help women. She was going to start a business helping women stay beautiful. That was her deal. We're going to help women. She didn't know what the skin was. She was a housewife from Russia. She didn't know what the skin was. She didn't know what nutrition was. Nobody did. In 1910, 1920, we didn't even know what vitamins were. We barely knew what hormones were. We certainly didn't know that the skin had its own moisture factors in it. We certainly didn't know that the skin was an immune organ. We didn't even know what the immune system was. Helena Rubinstein may have been a sweet lady, Maybe not. I don't know. She was certainly a good business lady, but she didn't know what the biochemical nature of the skin was. She didn't know what biology was. The problem is today we're still using Helena Rubinstein's techniques of moisturizing the skin, but we know that the skin today, we realize it's a tremendously dynamic and active system, but we still have skincare professionals, estheticians, skincare doctors, dermatologists, medical people, skincare companies pushing these silly products on us that are based on a science and a technology that's from the turn of the 20th century. So I saw a commercial yesterday, or a couple days ago, for a product called Eucerin. Eucerin, Eucerin. Eucerin has a reputation for being the dermatologist and the pharmacist's go-to choice for treating dry skin. And you go into the ingredient deck, and you always want to be an ingredient deck reader. You see the ingredient deck. First ingredient on Eucerin cream. And I'm just using this as an example. You could take Lubriderm or Cetaphil or Amlac or any other standard product, standard moisturizing product. You'll see the first ingredient is going to be water, and it's usually 80 to 90%. If it's a cream, maybe 70%. That's a lot of water. 70 to 90% of your cream or lotion is going to be water, right off the top. The next ingredient in Eucerin, mineral oil. Now, I've been formulating for a long time, so I know that the mineral oil is in there about 10%. So you got your water, maybe 70%, 75%. You got mineral oil at 10%. Bingo, you're up to almost 85-90% of your product is water and mineral oil. Your Eucerin. This is the premium go-to moisturizing product, folks. The third ingredient, isopropyl myristate. It's a fake oil. Isopropyl myristate is a pretend oil. It's a cheap oil or oil-like substance. Again, not going to do anything for your skin. It's just going to give you a little slick sensation. That's another 5%. So now you're talking about 90% plus of your product is water, mineral oil, isopropyl myristate, which is a fake oil. Fourth ingredient, PEG 40 sorbitan peroleate. What's that? An emulsifier. That's in there about 2%, and not a very nice emulsifier either, by the way. So now you're up to over 90% of your product. This is Eucerin. This is the go-to moisturizing lotion or cream. Water, mineral oil, isopropyl myristate, PEG 40 sorbitan peroleate. Fifth ingredient, glycerol linoleate, another wax-like substance. That's probably 1 or 2%. Oh, here's the active ingredient. You ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sixth ingredient, sorbitol, sugar. Sorbitol, yes, the same stuff that's in diabetic candies. Why would they put sorbitol in Eucerin? Because it absorbs a little bit of water. They say it's a humectant. Humectant is an ingredient that absorbs a little bit of water. Seventh ingredient, propylene glycol. That's another slickerizer. Doesn't do anything for your skin, just creates a little slick sensation. Next ingredient, acetyl palmitate, a wax, to give it a little thickening and a little body. Magnesium sulfate and aluminum stearate, again, thickeners, kind of puff the product out a little bit. Next ingredient, the ninth ingredient, lanolin alcohol. That's in there about 0.25% maybe. And that's got a little bit of kind of gooiness to it, maybe seals the barrier a little bit. And then you're into your nasty preservatives, something called BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. That one's not all that bad. But then you come into two really nasty preservatives, methyl chloro isothiazolinone, methyl isothiazolinone. Two very unpleasant preservatives. That's your go-to moisturizing product, folks. There's nothing in there. Are you kidding me? This is the state of the skincare business, but if you've got dry skin, there is truly stuff you could do topically as well as internally. I'll tell you a couple of things you could do when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates. 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
30dayfoodsupply.com has a special offer just for GCN listeners. Mention GCN when you order, and we'll send you a free bag of Oregon Trail Foods' new vegan burger, a $9 value, with your order of our 30-day food supply, still only $99. In addition, with every 6-month supply purchased, mention GCN and receive a free Life Straw water filter. Our vegetarian meals are naturally high in fiber, carbs, and protein, and they're packed with oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low by buying directly from the producers in Oregon and then passing the savings on to you. Call 800-700-2184 and remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. This is a limited time offer, so order today. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 800-700-2184. That's 30dayfoodsupply.com at 800-700-2184.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central, and 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com. You can order products directly from the website. You can order the Healthy Start Pack and the Ultimate EFAs. If you really want to, if you have dry skin, essential fatty acids are really what you want to be thinking about. Also fat absorption. Always got to focus internally. Yes, it's true. There's things you could do topically for the skin, especially topical vitamins, and topical vitamin C is really super helpful when it comes to truly moisturizing the skin for a lot of reasons. Topical vitamin C is involved in stimulating the production of natural lipids or fats, moisture factors. It's involved in helping produce an effective skin barrier, and vitamin C's got protective benefits as well. It's got to be fatty vitamin C. And we'll be talking about that tomorrow. We'll continue talking about that for the next few days. I'm also going to tell you about a protein that's really, really important. It's part of how the skin barrier is formed, and it's something that you don't hear a lot about. But this is a protein that whose production is defective in the case of eczema, in the case of dry skin. And this is also protein that as it naturally breaks down on the skin surface, it produces its own moisture. It produces moisture factors, and it also produces sun protection factors. You think this protein is important stuff? You better believe it is. Vitamin E can be helpful. Cholesterol, super duper helpful. Topical cholesterol, very helpful. Topical cholesterol turns on the growth process, the barrier recovery process. So many really, truly good things you could do for your skin. You don't have to resort to these silly wax oil so-called moisturizer products. Anyway, we'll continue talking tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll also talk about a really interesting element that's found in the skin. It's something a lot of folks talk about. It's really important, can be important as a nutritional supplement. It's called hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid is now becoming a kind of a catchphrase in terms of skincare products. I saw Neutrogena has a product with hyaluronic acid. I'm going to tell you tomorrow why hyaluronic acid is not all that when it comes to topical products, why you got to be a little bit skeptical when it comes to hyaluronic acid in a topical skincare product. As important as hyaluronic acid is for the skin and as an internal supplement, it's not really very effective topically. We'll talk about that tomorrow as we continue talking skin health on the bright side. Time to hit our phones. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let us go to let's go to Kelly in Texas. She's been holding on for 20 minutes or so. What's up, Kelly? Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, thank you.
Hey.
I wanted to find out where to begin. I just heard about your products this week, and
Okay.
I've been dealing with kind of a inflamed stomach lining that never heals completely.
Okay. All right. Well, inflamed stomach lining, you want to think food. First of all, what makes you think you have an inflamed stomach lining?
They told me that when I spent a couple days in the emergency room, like in 2011.
They called it gastritis or something, did they say? What did they call it technically? They just said inflamed.
I don't actually remember the technical.
They just said an inflamed stomach lining. Okay. All right, well, here's a couple of things. First of all, the most important thing to consider is food. Okay, so you want to notice what foods cause a problem. Do a food diary. Write down everything you eat. Notice the foods that are causing a problem. Then eliminate those foods. Second thing you want to do is start to rebuild that lining. Now, I don't know necessarily, you say stomach lining, but it could have been the intestinal lining too. You sure it was the stomach lining and not the intestinal lining?
I'm not positive.
Okay, it could be either way. So we want to start rebuilding it. A couple of things for rebuilding the lining, digestive tract lining, anything that helps you with arthritis or building connective tissue, building joint tissue is also going to help you build and strengthen the digestive tract, not so much the lining, but the musculature underneath. That means cartilage-containing products. Use glucosamine. If you're using the longevity products, use the glucogel caps. Bone soup, where you take real chicken and dissolve the cartilage in the water and make chicken soup out of a real chicken. Use a little apple cider vinegar in the water to dissolve the cartilage. You can get hyaluronic acid supplements. That's what we were just talking about. That could be very helpful. And then if you're going to use the longevity products, get on the Z Radical or the Fucoid Z, which is made with algae. And the algae has a sugar complex component that is very important for helping rebuild the digestive lining. Vitamin C is also important, and as are essential fatty acids, and zinc is a super important mineral for helping rebuild that digestive lining. A couple last things for you. Number one, use stomach acid support supplements. The more stomach acid you're producing, the less likely you are to have bacterial infection, and this is a common cause of digestive lining impairment. H. pylori particularly. So making sure you're making enough stomach acid. Use apple cider vinegar after all your meals. Get on something called betaine, B-E-T-H-I-N-E, betaine HCl. You'll find that in the Ultimate Enzymes. Use your Ultimate Enzymes after meals, and then a little bit of apple cider vinegar with your Ultimate Enzymes. You may want to even explore going to a pharmacy or getting your doctor's prescription for HCl, hydrochloric acid drops, and doing a couple hydrochloric acid drops after meals. It's a little bit more intense than apple cider vinegar, but it can be pretty effective as well. So you got lots of strategies. Last but not least, a good probiotic supplement and fermented foods, as well as fiber. Grind your own vegetables in a Vitamix and make vegetable juice with fiber. Also using fermented veggies and the biolumin nightly essence. Probiotics are very important for helping stabilize the entire digestive tract, but they can also have a beneficial effect on the lining. So doing the food diary, eliminating problem foods, and then all the digestive support, digestive enzymes, probiotics, Fucoid Z, glucogel caps, cartilage-containing products, and also bone soup or chicken soup with the bones. Lots of strategies there for you. Is that helpful, ma'am?
Yes, thank you so much.
Good deal. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for calling. All right, Mary in Michigan, welcome to the Bright Side. What's up?
Yeah, hi, Ben.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly how to phrase this question, but
okay. All right.
I have heart arrhythmia.
Okay.
And I've got one specific question. I'm trying real hard to work on it and give myself the nutrients and things, but I'm 68 years old and my digestion's not good. And anyway, long story. But anyway, let me get to my one specific question.
Okay.
I know I have osteoporosis of the jaw.
Okay.
And I had a biofeedback test done, and he said my heart's strong. It's just not beating exactly right. My question is, I've got some abscesses. Now, my teeth are all good. I think the abscesses are coming from the osteoporosis and maybe not sufficient anchorage for the teeth or something. But anyway,
are you on any medicine?
No.
Okay. All right, well, listen, this is not a complicated issue. I mean, it sounds complicated because there's all these different things going. You got osteoporosis, you got the heart problem, you got abscesses, etc. So it sounds like there's a lot of stuff happening. But really what's occurring, Mary, is your body's breaking down.
Right.
That's basically what's happening. Okay. All right, so let's cut to the chase here. You're falling apart. The body's breaking down. I'm saying that with love because we're going to turn it around for you. All right? The heart arrhythmia is telling me that there's some kind of emergency. This is what a heart arrhythmia is, really. It's a sign that the body is in major distress mode and the electrical conductivity in the heart, the electrical energy in the heart is not flowing as it should, following this kind of inflammatory distress response. So we got to figure out why is your body in distress? And there's lots of reasons why it is. The first most important reason, and this is also going to be associated with heart arrhythmias, is a lack of oxygen. Hypoxia, low blood oxygen. Okay, and it's very, very important that everybody out there recognizes that hypoxia, low blood oxygen, is resting behind almost all health issues. Now, you got to do other things too, because if you have an inflammation that's coming in from the digestive system or blood sugar, that's going to block oxygen as well. So it's not just a question of breathing, but that can be very, very helpful. Hang tight, Mary. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit criticalhealthnews.com and listen to Dr. Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join our Critical Health News team. Go to criticalhealthnews.com. That's criticalhealthnews.com.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Yuvia needed financing to grow her restaurant business, but her banks simply didn't understand.
I was frustrated.
Yuvia found On Deck Business Loans.
On Deck did it for me. I called on Saturday, and I had $50,000 in my account on Monday morning.
How about the terms?
Incredibly easy. It doesn't mess with your cash flow.
On Deck changed everything.
This company, On Deck, is going to be there for me.
Was it a good move?
I'm looking to increase sales probably 30%.
Been in business for at least a year with $100,000 plus in revenue? On Deck can get you $5,000 to $250,000 in as little as one business day. And they're A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau.
On Deck has opened up so many doors for me now. Truly, the sky is the limit. I'm excited.
Apply now at OnDeckLending.com or call 800-326-5430. 800-326-5430. 800-326-5430.
Loan subject to lender approval.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. All over America, people are suffering from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, irregular heartbeat, clogged arteries, and high cholesterol. Can you live your life free from sickness, pain, and fear, and experience your body healing itself? Look to Heart and Body Extract, an all-natural supplement that aids ailing bodies. It has an exclusive formula of wild-crafted and organic herbs. End the pain without all the side effects of prescription drugs. People 20 years younger will envy your vitality. Want a happier, healthier you? Then go to heartandbody.com or call toll-free 866-295-5305 for free information. Heart and Body Extract offers a lifetime guarantee with no price increase in over 14 years. What are you waiting for? Call Heart and Body now at 866-295-5305 for your free information. Go to heartandbody.com, 866-295-5305. Distributor inquiries welcome.
All right, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Mary in Michigan. Mary, a couple things here, okay? We'll take care of you, and you should start to notice results pretty darn quickly once you do a few of these things. First of all, slow, deep breathing, okay? That's going to stabilize the heart rhythm, and it's going to also get you the oxygen your cells need to do their recovery and healing work. That's always fundamental. Nutrition's important, food's important, sugar's important, or lack of it, or avoiding it, but nothing is more important than oxygenation and blowing off carbon dioxide. When you exhale, by the way, you're blowing off acid, toxicity, as well as carbon dioxide. So slow, deep breathing. And when you're slow, deep breathing, you're always breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. In through the nose, out through the nose. Nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. So keep your mouth closed and in through the nose and out through the nose. And the key word here is slowly. If you go too fast, you'll actually initiate a stress response, which you don't want to do. And by the way, fast, shallow breathing is a great way to wake up. If you're driving and you're feeling drowsy, or if you're in a meeting or you're in a lecture and you feel like falling asleep, doing quick, shallow breathing is a great way to wake up, to get you some quick energy. Actually, it's stress energy, so it's not really great, clean energy, but it'll still wake you up in an emergency. The alternative is relaxing the body, opening everything up. By the way, if you take a hot tub or a hot bath or or a hot shower, that will have the same effect. So anything you could do to open up your respiratory tract and open up the blood vessels, slow, deep breathing is a great way to do that, and you can do it from the comfort of your couch. That's first of all. And by the way, if you notice your heart's going into rhythm, arrhythmias, a poor rhythm, slow, deep breathing can stabilize that, making sure you're focusing on the exhale. Next thing you want to do is you want to start to control the amount of sugar you're eating. High blood sugar will mess up your heart. High blood sugar will cause an inflammatory response that will make it difficult for cells to get oxygen, so staying away from sugar as best as you can.
The only sugar I consume is in fruit, so.
It's the same thing, just as bad as anything else. You do get some good things in the fruits, of course, but the sugar is still sugar. In fact, the fructose can be actually be more problematic in some ways than glucose. So still you want to be careful with that. I'm not saying zero tolerance, Mary, or anybody listening, but just control it. All right? And then the third thing is you got to start focusing on digestive health. As long as you got stuff coming in, and it sounds like you do, stuff coming into your blood through the digestive tract that's causing a problem, and you'll know it by digestive symptoms, it's going to be very difficult to reverse the osteoporosis or control the heart rhythm.
But my concern was, I know that rotten teeth and bad gums can damage your heart. That I know.
It's a circle. The heart damages, your heart problems and your internal problems cause the problems with the gums and the teeth, and then that feeds back in a circle and causes heart problems. So you got to That's why you got.
So I'm concerned. I've been trying to save these teeth because the abscesses don't bother me. Then apparently I'm controlling them fairly well. But if I should have them pulled, I should have them pulled rather than.
Well, I can't tell you about having them pulled, but I can tell you that you're falling apart and your body's melting. You ever see The Wizard of Oz? Have you seen The Wizard of Oz, Mary? Remember the end of The Wizard of Oz, what the witch says? She goes, I'm melting! And she turns into a puddle. That's you, Mary. Now, I'm trying to stop that for you, though. I'm trying to stop that procedure.
Well, in your opinion, would the abscesses be the same as having the rotten teeth?
Yes, abscesses are a sign of infection. It's a sign that tissue's breaking down, and I don't mean to be gross here, but I'm just going to be frank. It's a sign that tissue is rotting, and bacteria are starting to digest it. You're basically dissolving. We got to stop this. This is not good.
I'm literally melting because
You're melting. You're melting. But I'm not saying that to insult you or to be mean.
I know that.
I'm saying that because we want to fix it. So first thing you do, you're deep breathing. Your second thing you do, you stabilize the blood sugar. Get on the sweeties. Make sure you're eating more protein and more coconut oil every time you want bread and pasta and fruit. Try to steer yourself into protein and coconut oil and butter, and then get on the Healthy Start Pack. Do a food diary. Start to focus on which foods are causing you problems. Get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Get on your Ultimate Enzymes. Do apple cider vinegar after all your meals. All of the things that you would be doing if you were, say, an athlete or if you were a bodybuilder.
How much protein would you say a
There's
person?
there's no how much. You want to go by. It doesn't really work that way. And anybody who tells you how much grams per pound of body weight isn't really giving you the straight scoop. Everybody's going to be different. For you, you're going to need more protein than somebody who's not breaking down because your body has to recover. However, if you're not absorbing or digesting your protein, you can cause more harm than good. And here's another thing about protein, as important as protein is. If you're not working out and you're not stimulating the growth of tissue, that protein is going to go onto your butt and get turned into fat and sit on your butt. So you can get fat by sitting there and eating a lot of protein. Everybody who's doing this, the paleo diet, the high protein diet, as far as protein, protein's great stuff. It's very, very important. But if you're not using the protein, if your body's not turning that protein into muscle, it's going to end up sitting around like fat. So, you can't just eat protein. You got to do some building work. So in addition to making sure you're getting enough protein, you want to absorb it. So you do your protein with your Ultimate Enzymes and your apple cider vinegar. And get yourself in the gym or do some resistance training at home with a rubber band. Do something that'll build muscle so your body is using that protein. So you're going into what we call anabolic or building mode. Lots of things you could do there, though, Mary. What I can tell you for sure is you don't have a medical problem. You have a lifestyle problem.
Oh, I know that.
Good deal. Through deep breathing.
I have a doctor problem.
Pretty much.
Aren't worth
they're not going to be able to help you, and I don't want to rip on doctors. But
they didn't help me for years, and I think they're what put me in this position. But anyhow.
Could very well be. So anyway, I'm going to move on, Mary, because I got a bunch of calls here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Deep breathing, control your sugar, take care of your digestive system, make sure you got enough protein, and then some anabolic or resistance training to build up muscle. All right, RC in California. What's up, my friend? How you doing, buddy? RC. Yes, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Hey, can you mix ascorbyl palmitate in powder form in capsules with moisturizing lotion?
No, ascorbyl palmitate, and you're cutting out there, RC, but I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, ascorbyl palmitate, make your own break open an ascorbyl palmitate capsule and put it in a moisturizing lotion. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, ascorbyl palmitate, and there's a reason why you don't see ascorbyl palmitate in very many products, although if you go to My Truth products, you'll find omega-6 healing cream made with a bunch of ascorbyl palmitate. Ascorbyl palmitate is very difficult to work with. It's inert. It's stiff. It's like a rock. It doesn't do anything until it's broken down. Now, you can break it down through some creative chemistry, which is how I did it with my omega-6 healing cream, but it won't break down just by adding it to a moisturizing cream. You're not going to get very much benefit from it, which is why you got to buy my omega-6 healing cream, because I figured it out for you.
So
and that's on Truth. Pretty much. You're not going to see more than 1% or so, even less, 0.5% ascorbyl palmitate in very many topical products. If you use my Truth treatment product, you'll get 12% ascorbyl palmitate, because I'm a chemist. I figured it out quite a few years ago, actually. And so you can use that, or if you want to make your own fatty vitamin C, you might try mixing. It's still not going to work very well. I was going to say mix your ascorbyl palmitate in some straight palmitate oil, but it's still not going to work. Ascorbyl palmitate is just very, very stiff and solid. It doesn't react very effectively. So you have to go to truthtreatments.com and check out the omega-6 healing cream. That's 12% ascorbyl palmitate. Thanks for your call, RC. Appreciate it. Let's see. Mary in Washington, welcome to the bright side. What's up? Mary. Going once?
Hi.
Hey, Mary. What's up?
I'm here.
Hey.
A couple of weeks ago, I started to have low right abdominal pain.
Okay.
I just kind of manned up and dealt with it, figured it was gas, something I ate.
Okay.
But it ended up being I had a CT scan. She was worried it was the appendix.
Okay.
I have a avocado-sized ovarian cyst. I've had a partial hysterectomy.
Oh, my goodness. You just have one, or you have multiple cysts?
I have one, but it
Wow.
has actually a crease in it, so it looks like two.
Okay.
I have not had an ultrasound yet.
Well, here's the thing. You got two words to know when you have cysts. The first word is estrogen, and the second word is sugar or insulin. And those are the two elements that you want to control. Anytime there's growths, cysts or fibroids or skin tags, anytime cells are dividing rapidly, endometriosis, for example, anytime you have cells dividing rapidly or growths, you want to think about estrogen and you want to think about insulin. Now, when I say think about estrogen, I'm talking about how the body processes estrogen, and that usually means a digestive issue. Estrogen is a fatty substance, a fatty hormone, and it gets broken down into many, many different types of estrogen. So you have three main estrogens, and they all get broken down into junior estrogens or types of estrogens. And these breakdown products, the ratios and their proportions are very complicated. And when they get thrown off, that's one of the ways that cysts develop in fibroids and endometriosis. It sounds like if you had a hysterectomy that you have a history that way. Get yourself on the Biolumin Nightly Essence #1. 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. Use the Healthy Start Pack. I'd be doing 9 essential fatty acid capsules. Focus on fat metabolism and fat absorption, and then treat yourself like a pre-diabetic or a diabetic. Use the Sweeties product and start to stabilize or at least minimize your intake of fast-burning sugars and carbohydrates and fruits. And then, of course, the whole Healthy Start Pack. That goes without saying. You might also want to throw in the Ultimate Enzymes and the Ultimate Selenium, which has anti-estrogen or estrogen protection properties. So many things you could do. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening, friends. Tomorrow we'll continue talking skin, and we'll talk a little Biolumin Nightly Essence with the formulator and manufacturer. Thanks for listening. Have yourselves a wonderful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hi, this is Larry Smith. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. When the cleaners ruined some special clothing, all they could do was show us the sign that said they weren't responsible. But when they got the letter from one of our Legal Shield attorneys, he promptly gave us a check for $1,152. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610, or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates, 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.